Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to see you all on Zoom this morning. Okay, so let's begin by singing our good morning song, okay? 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good morning. It's a great day for learning. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning. It's a great day for learning. Good morning to you and you and you. Alrighty guys, so let's start off today by me asking you guys a few questions, okay? Are you ready? Okay, so have any of you seen a Winnie the Pooh movie? Yes? Yes, great. Okay, can anybody name me some characters from Winnie the Pooh? Fred. Yes, of course, Winnie the Pooh. Alyssa? Piglet. Yes, that's a great character. Charlie? Rabbit, of course. Rabbit. Can never forget Rabbit. Okay, so today what we're going to be learning about is putting our definitions into action and being able to identify them in a story. So the definitions that we learned earlier were character, setting, and major event. Now, behind me, I have our vocabulary wall, which is backwards, I'm sorry. But I'm going to read it to you, and then we're going to read it together, okay? You ready? Vocab wall. Character. People, animals, or creatures that can think, feel, or act. Setting. Time and place of a story. Major event. Most important thing to happen in the story. Okay, now read with me, okay? Vocab wall. Character. People, animals, or creatures that can think, feel, or act. Setting. Time and place of a story. Major event. Most important thing to happen in the story. Okay, so now what we're going to be reading today is going to be Winnie the Pooh and Some Bees. Now I know that this is backwards and I'm really sorry. I'm not very good with this computer and we're still working on Zoom, okay? So I'm going to read it out loud to you. And then on our classroom website, I'm going to have a section with all of the pictures for you to read by yourself if you would like to, okay? And today, I have brought with me a special guest. I have brought the one, the only, Winnie the Pooh. He's going to be sitting right beside me during our lesson, so that way we can get some inspiration from him. Does that sound like a plan? Yeah? Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to begin by reading Winnie the Pooh and Some Bees by A.A. Milne. Sorry. And this was illustrated. In other words, the pictures were drawn by Ernest Shepard. Okay? Be sure to stay with me and stay focused, okay? Remember, I'm going to show you the pictures, and we're going to talk about what's going on throughout the story, okay? Here is Edward Bear, coming downstairs now, bump, 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 on the back of his head, behind Christopher Robin. It is, as far as he knows, the only way of coming downstairs. Here's a picture of Christopher Robin. And there's Winnie the Pooh, and he's bringing him down the stairs. But sometimes he feels that there really is another way. If only he could stop bumping for a moment and think of it. And then he feels that perhaps there isn't. Anyhow, here he is at the bottom and ready to be introduced to you. Winnie the Pooh. When I first heard his name, I said, just as you were going to say, but I thought he was a boy. So did I, said Christopher Robin. Then you can't call him Winnie? I don't, but you said he's Winnie the Pooh. Don't you know what "the" means? Ah, yes, now I do, I say quickly. And I hope you do too, because it is all the explanation you are going to get. Sometimes Winnie the Pooh likes a game of some sort when he is downstairs. Here's a picture of Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh together. And then here's some pictures of Pooh Bear being silly. And sometimes he likes to sit quietly in front of the fire and listen to a story. This evening, "What about a story?" said Christopher Robin. "What about a story?" I said. "Could you very sweetly tell Winnie the Pooh one?" "I suppose I could," I said. "What sort of stories does he like?" "About himself, because he's that sort of bear." "Oh, I see. So could you very sweetly?" "I'll try," I said. So I tried. "So, as of right now, where do you think they are? Like, what location are they in? Are they in a house? Are they in a car? Are they in a spaceship?" That's right, they're in Christopher Robin's house right now. So let's see where they go to next, okay? Once upon a time, a very long time ago now, about last Friday, Winnie the Pooh lived in a forest all by himself under the name of Sanders. "What does under the name mean?" asked Christopher Robin. "It means he had the name over the door in gold letters and lived under it." So what's the setting right now? It's last Friday, right? Yeah, because we're looking at the time. And we're going to find and what place is he in? He's in the forest, right? Does anybody know what the name of the forest is? That's right, the 100-Acre Wood. Here's a picture of Winnie the Pooh sitting by a fireplace under the name Sanders. "Winnie the Pooh wasn't quite sure," said Christopher Robin. "Now I am," said a growly voice. "Then I will go on," said I. "One day, when he was out walking, he came to an open place in the middle of the forest, and in the middle of this place was a large oak tree, and from the top of that tree there came a loud buzzing noise." What do you think that buzzing noise is? Bees, that's right. Winnie the Pooh sat down at the foot of the tree and put his head between his paws and began to think. "First of all," he said to himself, "that buzzing noise means something. You don't get a buzzing noise like that just buzzing and buzzing without its meaning something. If there's a buzzing noise, somebody's making a buzzing noise, and the only reason for making a buzzing noise that I know of is because you're a bee." Then he thought another long time and said, "And the only reason for being a bee that I know of is making honey." And then he got up and said, "And the only reason for making honey is so as I can eat it." So then he began to climb the tree. Now, do bees only make honey for Winnie the Pooh? No. But does Winnie the Pooh think so? Yes. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed. And as he climbed, he sang a little song to himself. It went like this. "Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? Buzz, buzz, buzz. I wonder why he does." Then he climbed a little further, and a little further, and then just a little further. By that time, he had thought of another song. It's a very funny thought that, if bears were bees, they build their nests at the bottom of trees. And that being so, if the bees were bears, we shouldn't have to climb up all these stairs. He was getting rather tired by this time, so that is why he sang a complaining song. He was nearly there now, and if he just stood on that branch, crack! "Oh, help," said Pooh as he dropped 10 feet on the branch below him. "If only I hadn't," he said as he bounced 20 feet onto the next branch. "You see, what I meant to do," he explained, as he turned head over heels and crashed onto another branch 30 feet below. "What I meant to do..." Here's a picture of him climbing the tree before he went and did what? Fell. That's right. "Of course it was, rather," he admitted as he slithered very quickly through the next 6 branches. "It all comes, I suppose," he decided as he said goodbye to the last branch, spun around 3 times, and flew gracefully into a gorse bush. There Winnie the Pooh is falling. Isn't he silly? It all comes of liking honey so much. Oh, help! He crawled out of the gorse bush, brushed the prickles from his nose, and began to think again. And the first person he thought of was Christopher Robin. Was that me? Said Christopher Robin in an odd voice, hardly daring to believe it. That was you. Christopher Robin said nothing, but his eyes got larger and larger, and his face got pinker and pinker. So we see Winnie the Pooh by the gorse bush. And who was the first person that he thought of? Christopher Robin. So Winnie the Pooh went round to his friend Christopher Robin, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest. Good morning, Christopher Robin, he said. Good morning, Winnie the Pooh, said you. I wonder if you got such a thing as a balloon about you. A balloon? Yes, I just said to myself coming along. I wonder if Christopher Robin has such a thing as a balloon about him. I just said it to myself, thinking of balloons and wondering. What do you want a balloon for? He said. Winnie the Pooh looked round to see that nobody was listening, put his paw to his mouth, and said in a deep whisper, Honey. But you don't get honey with balloons. I do, said Pooh. Well, it just happened that you had been to a party the day before at the house of your friend Piglet, and you had balloons at the party. You had a big green balloon, and one of Rabbit's relations had a big blue one. So here's a picture of the forest. And then who's this? Christopher Robin. And what's he doing? Blowing up a balloon, right? And had left it behind, being really too young to go to a party at all. And so you had brought the green one and the blue one home with you. Which one would you like, you asked Pooh. He put his head between his paws and thought very carefully. It's like this, he said. When you go after honey with a balloon, the great thing is not to let the bees know you're coming. Now, if you have a green balloon, they might think you were only part of the tree and not notice you. And if you have a blue balloon, they might think you were only part of the sky and not notice you. And the question is, which is most likely? Wouldn't they notice you underneath the balloon, you asked? They might or they might not, said Winnie the Pooh. You can never tell with bees. He thought for a moment and said, I shall try to look like a small black cloud. That will deceive them. Here's a picture of Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh. Then you had better have the blue balloon, you said, and so it was decided. Well, you both went out with the blue balloon, and you took your gun with you, just in case, as you always did. And Winnie the Pooh went to a very muddy place that he knew of, and rolled until he was black all over. And then, when the balloon was blown up as big, and you and Pooh were both holding on to the string, you let go suddenly, and Pooh Bear floated gracefully up into the sky and stayed there, level with the top of the tree and about 20 feet away from it. Hooray, you shouted. Isn't that fine? Shouted Winnie the Pooh down to you. What do I look like? You look like a bear holding on to a balloon, he said. Not, said Pooh anxiously. Not like a small black cloud in a blue sky? Not very much. Ah, well, perhaps from up here it looks different, and, as I say, you can never tell with bees. There was no wind to blow him nearer to the tree, so there he stayed. He could see the honey, he could smell the honey, but he couldn't quite reach the honey. After a little while he called down to you. Christopher Robin, he said in a loud whisper. Hello? I think the bees suspect something. What sort of thing? I don't know, but something tells me that they're suspicious. Perhaps they think that you're after their honey? It may be that. You can never tell with bees. There was another little silence, and then he called down to you again. Christopher Robin! Yes? Have you an umbrella in your house? I think so. I wish you would bring it out here and walk up and down with it. Look up at me every now and then and say, Tut tut, it looks like rain. I think if you did that, it would help the deception which we are practicing on these bees. Well, you laughed at yourself. Silly old bear. Though you didn't say it out loud because you were so fond of him, and you went home for your umbrella. Oh, there you are, called down Winnie the Pooh as soon as you got back to the tree. I was beginning to get anxious. I have discovered that the bees are now definitely suspicious. Shall I put my umbrella up, you said? Yes, but wait a moment. We must be practical. The important bee to deceive is the queen bee. Can you see which is the queen bee from down there? No. A pity. Well now, if you walk up and down with your umbrella saying, "Tut tut, it looks like rain," I shall do what I can by singing a little cloud song, such as a cloud might sing. Go! Here's Winnie the Pooh. Now what are all those things surrounding him? Bees, that's right. Now, are the bees giving Winnie the Pooh their honey? No. Is he trying to steal their honey? Yes. Do we think that he'll be successful? Maybe. We gotta finish the story. So while you walked up and down and wondered if it would rain, Winnie the Pooh sang this song. How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. Every little cloud always sings aloud. How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. It makes him very proud to be a little cloud. The bees were still buzzing as suspiciously as ever. Some of them, indeed, left their nests and flew all around the cloud as it began the second verse of the song. And one bee sat down on the nose of the cloud for a moment, and then got up again. "Christopher, ow! Robin," called out the cloud. "Yes?" "I've just been thinking, and I've come to the very important decision. These are the wrong sort of bees." "Are they?" "Quite the wrong sort. So I should think that they would make the wrong sort of honey, shouldn't you?" "Would they?" "Yes. So I think I shall come down." "How?" asked you. Winnie the Pooh hadn't thought about this. If you let go of the string, he would fall, bump, and he didn't like the idea of that. So he thought for a long time, and then he said, "Christopher Robin, you must shoot the balloon with your gun." "Have you got your gun?" "Of course I had," you said. "But if I do that, it will spoil the balloon," you said. "But if you don't," said Pooh, "I shall have to let go, and that would spoil me." When you put it like this, you saw how it was, and you aimed very carefully at the balloon and fired. "Ow!" said Pooh. "Did I miss?" you asked. "You didn't exactly miss," said Pooh, "but you missed the balloon." So what did Christopher Robin hit? He hit Winnie the Pooh, didn't he? But it was an accident, right? Yeah. "I'm so sorry," you said, and you fired again. And this time you hit the balloon, and the air came slowly out, and Winnie the Pooh floated down to the ground. So here's a picture of Winnie the Pooh up in the air with all the bees. And then here's a picture of him down on the ground. Yes, he does look a bit dirty, doesn't he? But his arms were so stiff from holding on to the string of the balloon all that time that they stayed up straight in the air for more than a week. And whenever a fly came and settled on his nose, he had to blow it off. And I think, but I am not sure, that is why he was always called Pooh. "Is that the end of the story?" asked Christopher Robin. "That's the end of that one. There are others, about Pooh and me, and Piglet and Rabbit and all of you. Don't you remember?" "I do remember. And then when I try to remember, I forget. That day when Pooh and Piglet tried to catch the heffalump, they didn't catch it, did they?" "No. Pooh couldn't, because he hasn't any brain. Did I catch it?" "Well, that comes into the story." Christopher Robin nodded. "I do remember," he said. "Only Pooh doesn't very well, so that's why he likes having it told to him again. Because then it's a real story, not just a remembering." "That's just how I feel," I said. Christopher Robin gave a deep sigh, picked his bear up by the leg, and walked off to the door, trailing Pooh behind him. At the door he turned and said, "Coming to see me have my bath?" "I might," I said. "I didn't hurt him when I shot him, did I?" "Not a bit." He nodded and went out, and in a moment I heard Winnie the Pooh, bump, 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 going up the stairs behind him. Then here's Christopher Robin in the bathtub with Pooh. And that's the end. Now, what did you guys think about this story? Did you like the story? Can I see by a thumbs up, a thumbs down, and a thumbs eh? Alright, I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed this story. Now we're going to take what we have learned from the story and put it into a game. Doesn't that sound exciting? Okay, so give me just a second to set up. Now, I don't have enough room for both posters, but this is Winnie the Pooh and Some Bees. That's the name of the book. Here's the author and the illustrator. Sorting game. So what we're going to do, is I have 3 sections for you. I have characters, setting, and major event. Now what we're going to have to do is I have note cards, and they either have a word, a name, or a sentence, and you have to tell me if it's a character, a setting, or the major event, okay? So like for example, this one says Winnie the Pooh. And I know that Winnie the Pooh is a character, right? So what I'm going to do we all agree that Winnie the Pooh is a character? Yeah? So I'm going to put tape behind it, and I'm going to put it under characters. Now, I'm going to randomly call on you, and if I call your name, I want you to tell me if you think it's a character, a setting, or a major event, okay? All right. June. Christopher Robin's house. What do you think that is? Well, let's see. Christopher Robin's house is a place, right? So what does our vocabulary wall say? If we look here, a setting is a time and place of a story. So what do you think it would be? Setting? Yes. Good. All right. Fred. Last Friday. Yes, that is a setting. And why is it a setting, class? That's right, because it's a time. That's the time when the story took place, right? All right. Sonia, what do you think honeybees are? No, that's not the major event. The major event is what the character does, is the big thing that happens in the story. What? Honeybees are what? Are they an animal? Are they a object? Are they a piece of paper? They're an animal, right? And in this story, did they think, feel, or act? That's right, they did act, because what did they do? They surrounded Pooh Bear, right? Because he was trying to take their honey. Okay, so where would honeybees go? That's right, it would go under characters. Alrighty, this is the toughie. We're going to give it to Ricky. Winnie the Pooh tries to steal honey from the bees. What do you think that is? That's right, it is the major event, right? Because that's the main thing that happens in the story. What is Winnie the Pooh trying to do, class? That's right, he's trying to take the honey from the bees. Because what does he think bees do? He thinks they make honey for him. But do they really? No. Kara, 100-acre wood. What do you think that is? That's right, it is the setting. Because what is the forest name? 100-acre wood. That's correct. Now, could you have put forest? Yes, why? Because they didn't say it was 100-acre wood in this story. But we know because we grew up with Winnie the Pooh that it's called the 100-acre wood, right? Right. Serena. Sorry, one second. Christopher Robin. That's right, he is a character. Because what does he do? He helps Pooh, right? And last but not least, who wants it? Emily. Right. This is also a toughie. Mr. Narrator. He's the person who is telling us the story. So what do you think he is? Well, he's not a setting because he's not a time or a place. But he's talking to us, right? And we can assume that he's a person because he's talking to Christopher Robin and to Pooh. So, class, what do you think he is? That's right, he is a character because he's in the story and he talks to us and lets us know what's going on. All right, great job, guys. You guys did such a great job. Okay, so now what I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to take out your crayons, a piece of paper, and your pencil. And what we're going to do is you're going to redraw this picture of Winnie the Pooh holding the great big balloon with bees surrounding him, okay? Now, you can color it however you want. It doesn't have to look exactly like that. I just want you to get the major event drawn on your paper, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes and check on you guys to make sure if you guys need any help, okay? Alrighty, are we done? Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to write one sentence that talks about what the major event was. Can anyone give me an example of what they would say? That's good, Erica. Yes, he was trying to get honey from the bees. Anybody else want to add to it? That's right, he was stealing from the bees because it wasn't his honey, right? No. But he thought it was, didn't he? Yeah. So what sentence can we come up with? How about Winnie the Pooh tries to steal honey from the bees? Now, be sure to use proper capitalization. So there's a capital W in Winnie and then a capital P in Pooh. If you want to just put Pooh, that's fine. And be sure to put a period at the end of your sentence, okay? Because it's not a sentence if it doesn't have a period, right? Right. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that, okay? Alrighty, have we finished? Alrighty, I want you guys to take a picture of what you've drawn at some point and keep it because I'm going to talk to your parents about them emailing it to me, okay? Alright, on the classroom website, on the very front page, it's going to say quiz. You're going to click on the link below it. And it's going to take you to our quiz for the day, okay? It's only 5 questions and it's multiple choice. I want you to turn it in by the end of the day, okay? When is it due? That's right, the end of the day. Now, if you have any problems, have your parents call me, email me, whatever you need, okay? Alrighty. So, what did we learn today, class? That's right, we did learn how to identify characters, settings, and the major event in a story, right? Using who? Using Winnie the Pooh, right? What else did we learn today, class? That's right, we did also learn how to draw a picture of the major event and to write a complete sentence about the major event, right? You guys did such an amazing job, and I am so proud of you guys for staying focused and going through this lesson so quickly and doing things correctly. You guys are an amazing bunch. And don't forget to send me those quizzes, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Miss you already.